Hello, Douglas and Sonny I'm here again. So you're following on a little bit from conversations that we started about peak performance and creating peak performance in your workplace. So one of the aspects we talked about earlier was that what was essential for a peak performance workplace to come to life was bringing respect or unconditional respect into it. So I guess the next step is what's next? So what's the next thing, Douglas?
Well, I think it's really how do we show this respect?
Yes.
And the first step to showing this respect is learning how to listen. In most places, we're pretty busy sorts of people.
Yes.
Got all sorts of things going on. And somebody comes to us or wants to speak to us, and our minds are all over the place. So we'll be listening for the absolute core of what they want. And usually we're listening from the point of view of saying, well, okay, I'm going to have to make a decision here, or I'm going to have to tell this person how to do it, or I'm going to have to provide this person with some input here. And so the listening is with its emphasis on me. In other words, what is the import of what that person is saying to me, and how do I have to respond to what that person is saying? And so while even the person is saying something, my mind is wandering through thinking about what the response is going to be, thinking about how can I get the message across to this person in a way that isn't really going to offend them perhaps, or is not going to demotivate them, or whatever the case may be. So my thoughts are constantly on me in what is going on. Now, if we are serious about starting to develop respect, that listening emphasis has got to turn around. So that if I'm going to work with a person and help a person to grow and help a person to achieve peak performance, I've got to first of all quiet my mind. And I may have to say to the person, just a second, I need to finish this before I can give you my attention. And then finish it, and then get onto it. And now when I listen, I've got to be paying attention totally to the other person. And that means I've got to stop thinking about what the response is. Most of us hate silence. And so you'll see this happening so often. A person will ask something, or will say something, make a contribution, and immediately somebody wants to jump in with the response or the solution, or a clarifying question, or something of this nature, instead of recognizing that perhaps it's a lot better to pause for a few seconds, then process what the person has been saying, and then ask the clarifying question. So that really the emphasis, the whole thing is, what is the message that this person is trying to come through? What does this question mean to the person? What are they going through in their mind that brings them to the point of asking this question? And so the whole focus is not on me and what is happening in my mind or my body as a result of this. The whole emphasis has got to be on the other person.
This is interesting. When I was a young fellow and I was traveling around in Sri Lanka and India, learning from some great spiritual teachers, I got the first inkling of this conversation when one teacher shared with us how respect arises from a spiritual context. He says it arises when you make a choice to give whatever it is your undivided, complete attention and your best to it. That's when respect arises. And practicing it, actually, it's quite beautiful to see that. Even when situations of conflict where people are really upset or angry or something with me in that process, just being in that process of listening and seeing what has gone on for them, and understanding and comprehending what was going on, and taking responsibility, giving them my best by taking responsibility for me, absolutely turns the whole situation around.
That's right.
And there's this, I think most people say, people give me statements like, I've never felt so respected in a conversation. really remarkable.
Of course, we need to make a distinction here between, somebody says, where's the stapler, or where's the tea room, where's the bathroom. No, you don't go into those are the sorts of responses that do require an answer. We're not saying that, there's this deep and meaningful interaction on every question. You've got to recognise the difference between the types of questions. But if we're seriously looking at problem solving, if we're seriously looking at dealing with issues that are fairly complex issues, then that's the sort of thing that I'm talking about here, rather than these more mundane types of situations.
Yes, it is about selecting the space to do this. And even just leaving it aside, there's someone coming and asking you, it's about that giving your best in the process, not dismissing people, chucking them aside, but literally saying, it's a moment, yes, you need to do that, well, here's how you do this, or here's where you go, whatever it is that you have got to say. I get that. And you've got to be in a listening which allows you to understand what really is going on in the layers below what's going on the top. So, absolutely. So interesting, isn't it? It's not that hard. If you learn to practice giving another your full attention and being mindful of the chatter in your mind and not allowing that to distract you and take you away from what's being said and what's going on here. The practice is not that hard to do, and if you practice that for a little, you really find that you get the grasp of this very, very quickly, and it can have quite an impact on the teams and the people that you work with.
Yes.
So there you are, something to think about, a tool and a way of generating respect. I think you're going to have some interesting times with this. Anyway, thank you for listening. We look forward to talking to you again soon. Thank you.